We have to talk about this because the gap between Toyota and Lexus has never been this blurry. For 2026, the Land Cruiser 250 and a Lexus GX 550 are built on the exact same bones. They use the same TNGA-F ladder frame, they share suspension geometry, they even share the same wheelbase down to the millimeter. But here is the problem. In the United States, Toyota positioned the Land Cruiser as this rugged, accessible off-roader. But once you start adding the packages you actually want, leather, the bigger screen, the sway bar disconnect, you are suddenly staring at a price tag that overlaps directly with the Lexus GX. So today we are going to strip away the marketing. We aren't looking at what the brochure says, we are looking at what you actually get for your money. We're going to compare the engines, the real-world interior feel, the suspension tech that separates them, and the practicality issues that might make you regret your purchase. Let's start with the visual impact, because this is where the personalities split completely. The Land Cruiser is playing heavily on nostalgia, especially if you get the 1958 trim or the first edition. You get those round LED headlights that scream retro. It's charming, it looks friendly. The body lines are blocky, but there is a softness to the edges. It has a lot of unpainted black plastic cladding on the bumpers and wheel arches. Toyota tells you this is for durability, so you don't scratch paint on the trail, which is true, but it also screams utility vehicle. It looks like something you should park next to a barn. The Lexus GX 550, on the other hand, looks like it was carved out of a single block of granite. It is aggressive. The spindle grille is still there, but they've integrated it much better than on the old models. It's not a gaping fish mouth anymore. It's upright and purposeful. The hood has these deep channels on the outer edges that aren't just for style, they actually help you see the corners of the vehicle when you're navigating a tight trail. Walk around to the side. The Lexus has a slightly cleaner profile. The belt line is lower, which means the windows are bigger. Visibility in the GX is genuinely better because of this. The Toyota feels a bit more closed in. Also, look at the rear glass. On the Land Cruiser, you can pop the rear glass separately from the hatch. It's a classic Toyota feature. It is incredibly useful for grabbing groceries without everything tumbling out. The Lexus GX finally has a pop-out glass window too, but the mechanism feels heavier, more substantial. The paint quality is another massive difference. The Toyota paint is good. It's durable, but the Lexus paint, especially if you see it in nori green pearl or earth, has a depth to it that the Toyota lacks. The clear coat feels thicker. When you run your hand over the panels, the Lexus feels like a premium product. The Toyota feels like a truck. That is not an insult, but when you're paying this much money, you need to decide if you want to look like you're going on a safari or going to a board meeting. This is the deal breaker section. This is where you make your decision. The 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser is only available with one powertrain in the US, the iForce Max Hybrid. It's a 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder paired with a 48-horsepower electric motor sandwiched into the transmission. Total output is 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. On paper, those numbers look great. That's a lot of torque, but you need to understand how it feels. Because it's a hybrid, you get this instant punch of electric torque right off the line. It jumps from 0 to 60 in about 7.7 seconds. It feels peppy in the city, but the moment you merge onto the highway and put your foot down, the illusion breaks. The engine note is grainy. It sounds strained. It drones. You hear that four-cylinder working hard to push a 5,600-pound brick through the wind. It doesn't feel effortless. Now jump into the Lexus GX 550. Under the hood, there is no hybrid system, no batteries. You get a 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6. This is the V35A FTS engine. It puts out 349 horsepower and a massive 479 pound-feet of torque. The difference is not just the numbers, it's the character. The V6 is smooth. It has a deep, throaty growl that sounds expensive. When you hit the gas at 70 miles per hour to pass a semi-truck, the GX just surges forward. It doesn't hunt for gears, it doesn't sound like it's dying. It hits 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. That's a second and a half faster than the Toyota. In the real world, that gap feels massive. And we have to talk about the transmission. The Land Cruiser uses an 8-speed automatic. It's fine, it does the job. The The Lexus uses a 10-speed direct shift automatic. It is buttery smooth. You can barely feel it shifting. It keeps the engine right in the power band. However, there is a penalty: the fuel economy. The Land Cruiser Hybrid will get you roughly 22 to 23 miles per gallon combined. You can actually see 25 on the highway if you're gentle. The Lexus GX, you'll be lucky to see 17. In the city, expect 15. If you drive aggressively, expect 13. You're paying for that V6 smoothness at the pump every week. If you own a boat, a horse trailer, or a camper, stop listening and just buy the Lexus. The Toyota Land Cruiser is rated to tow 6,000 pounds, which is decent. It's enough for a small Airstream or a utility trailer. But the hybrid system and the rear suspension setup limit it. The Lexus GX 550 crushes it here. It's rated to tow over 9,000 pounds on the Overtrail trim. That's best-in-class territory. That's full-size pickup truck territory. The twin-turbo V6 is designed for this load. The cooling system is more robust. If you tow, the Land Cruiser isn't even in the conversation. Open the door and the price gap starts to make sense. The Toyota Land Cruiser interior is utilitarian chic. The dashboard is blocky and upright. The plastics are hard and durable. They're meant to be wiped down with a wet rag. If you get the base 1958 model, you get cloth seats that feel rugged but cheap. If you step up to the standard Land Cruiser trim, you get Softex, which is Toyota's fancy word for synthetic leather. It's fine, it's soft, but it doesn't breathe well, and on a hot day, your back is going to sweat. You have to buy the expensive premium package to get real leather. The paint in the base Land Cruiser is a tiny 8-inch unit that looks lost in that giant dashboard. The higher trims get the 12.3-inch screen, which is good, but the software can be a little laggy. Now sit in the Lexus GX. The difference is immediate. The smell is different. The Lexus smells like leather and expensive adhesive. Even the base premium trim comes with a massive 14-inch screen that dominates the center stack. The resolution is crisp. The colors are deep blacks and bright whites. It looks like an iPad Pro mounted to the dash. The materials in the GX are on another level. The dashboard is wrapped in soft touch materials. The steering wheel leather feels finer, less grainy. If you get the luxury trim, you get semi-aniline leather seats that feel softer than the sofa in your living room. They're heated, ventilated, and yes, they have a massage function that actually works. It's not just a lumbar bladder inflating and deflating. It actually needs your back. Let's talk about noise. Toyota put some sound deadening in the Land Cruiser, but you still hear wind noise around the A-pillars at highway speeds. You hear the tires humming. In the Lexus, it's a vault. They use acoustic laminated glass on the windshield and the front side windows. They packed extra insulation into the wheel wells. You can whisper to your passenger at 80 miles per hour. That is the Lexus difference that doesn't show up on a spec sheet. Here is a weird quirk you need to know. The Land Cruiser is strictly a 5-seater. Because of the hybrid battery pack sitting under the rear floor, the floor is raised up high. This means two things. 1, you cannot get a third row, period. 2, the cargo floor is weirdly high. If you are short, lifting a heavy cooler into the back of the Land Cruiser is a workout because the load floor is near your waist. The Lexus GX 550 offers a third row. Now, be warned, the third row is tight. It is for children or people you don't like, but it exists. You can fold it flat when you don't need it. But here's the catch. If you buy the Overtrail trim, the off-road one, the third row is deleted. You only get 2 rows. But because there's no hybrid battery, the cargo floor is lower and flatter than the Land Cruiser. It is much easier to load gear into a GX Overtrail than a Land Cruiser. Both of these trucks will go further off-road than 99% of owners will ever dare, but they achieve it differently. The Land Cruiser comes with a locking center differential and a locking rear differential on most trims. It also has a new feature called the Stabilizer Disconnect Mechanism, SDM. You push a button and the front sway bar physically disconnects in the middle. This allows the front wheels to articulate more. One wheel can go up while the other stays down. It keeps your tires on the ground. It is mechanical, it is simple, and it works. The Lexus GX 550 Overtrail uses something called E-KDSS, Electronic Kinetic Dynamic Suspension System. This is space magic. Instead of just disconnecting the bar, it uses hydraulic pressure to constantly adjust the resistance of the sway bars. On the road, it stiffens them up so the truck doesn't lean in corners. off-road, it relaxes them, so the wheels can move freely. Here is the reality. E-KDSS is better. It is better on the road because it flattens out cornering forces. It is better off-road because it is seamless. You don't have to push a button. The truck just figures it out. The ride quality over washboard dirt roads in the Lexus is significantly smoother because that hydraulic system absorbs the impacts that the mechanical sway bar in the Toyota transmits straight to your spine. Also, tires. The Land Cruiser comes with decent all-season tires, but they are not aggressive. The GX Overtrail comes straight from the factory with 33-inch Toyo Open Country all-terrain tires. They are legitimate off-road rubber. You can drive off the lot and onto a trail. Now we get to the painful part, the money. A base Land Cruiser 1958 starts around $58,000. For that, you get cloth seats, a plastic steering wheel, and a small screen. It feels basic. By the time you spec up a Land Cruiser with the premium package to get the things you want, leather, the good stereo, the sunroof, you are pushing $76,000. The Lexus GX 550 starts around $64,000. That's only $6,000 more than the base Toyota. But for that $64,000, you get the V6, the 14-inch screen, the heated and ventilated seats, and the premium build quality. Here is the kicker. A fully loaded Land Cruiser First Edition costs about the same as a mid-spec Lexus GX Overtrail. At that price point, the Toyota makes 0 cents. Why would you pay $75,000 for a 4-cylinder hybrid with synthetic leather when you could have a twin-turbo V6 with real luxury features for the same check? The only reason to buy the Land Cruiser is if you specifically want the 1958 base model for the retro look, and you plan to beat it up. If you're shopping at the high end of the Land Cruiser lineup, you are walking into a trap. So who wins? If you want a fuel-efficient daily driver that looks cool and can handle a weekend camping trip, the Land Cruiser is a solid truck. It has the charm, it has the badge heritage, but you have to be okay with the engine noise and the cheaper interior materials. But if you want the better vehicle, it's the Lexus GX 550. It's not even close. The engine is superior, the transmission is smoother, the towing capacity is higher, the cabin is quieter, the suspension tech is more advanced. It feels like a cohesive, high-end product, whereas the Land Cruiser feels like a great platform let down by a powertrain that was chosen for emissions compliance rather than performance. The fuel economy penalty on the Lexus is real. It will cost you more at the pump. But every time you step on the gas and feel that V6 surge instead of hearing a 4-cylinder drone, you'll know where your money went.